So a lot of the viewers today, they are business owners themselves. What's the mix of people that you work with? Is it business owners, or is it people that business owners hire as salespeople? And what message do you have to those business owners? I know I've worked with a lot of business owners, and the answer to their growth strategy is, I'm going to hire a salesperson. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you're always going to be the the number one salesperson in your company. And they always think that the answer is, I'm just going to hire somebody. So, to a business owner that has that fear of sales, what's your advice to them?
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. My mix, to go to the first part of that, in terms of who I actually, sign business with, 98% of it are people who own a business probably. Every once in a while, I might, sell to a sales rep or, maybe a sort of a real estate agent type person, something like that. But most of the people we work with on the front end are business owners. Now they may have us training some of their people, but I've got sort of a non-negotiable, which is this: management must play, meaning if you're going to invest in your company in any way, you've got to be part of the training group. I don't allow people to just quote unquote send their folks through training, because what I found is that ultimately that doesn't work well, because now, number one, who's holding these people accountable when they're not in front of me? And number two, everybody kind of looks around and says, well, gee, the boss isn't here. So is this really that big of a deal? So, we primarily always start with working through business owners, entrepreneurs. In terms of the sales question, I just had this conversation actually, thank goodness, and I've got another one scheduled tonight. We're finally able to meet in person a couple places. So I was sitting on a rooftop, sort of a restaurant bar just a couple of days ago with a prospect, and we were having this conversation about, hey, how do I grow this sales team, right? And so my advice to them, and this happens to be what I do, but I'm not giving you this advice saying you've got to reach out to Sandler, reach out to me. Just have a process. And so one of the challenges is, as entrepreneurs, we're so passionate about what we do, that even if you're not quote unquote good at sales, oftentimes you're going to have really good results because it's your knowledge. You've lived the whole thing, right? You're able to connect and reach people even unconsciously in ways that others can't, because of how much you believe in that thing. And then as we try to scale and grow, we say, well, I'll just hire a salesperson. So, and we hire somebody, and because they're in sales, number one, they smoke us in the interview, right? They come across as being this fantastic people person, and they sell you. It's the best sale they ever made was when they sold you. And then they come in and they absolutely fall on their face. And we're like, I don't understand it. And so then you spin your wheels, and how much do you invest, in paying them and hiring and finding them? And so we spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And one of the challenges is we haven't really developed a process for selling. We might have one that we don't even think about, but we don't have it laid out, where we can actually now imprint that and give that to someone else and say, this is how you engage, right? This is what you do. And so my biggest piece of advice to an entrepreneur looking to increase sales and increase their organization through sales is, you've got to have a process for selling. Whatever that is, there has to be here's where, the first outreach all the way to service and delivery. What do those steps look like? And what do we expect to learn or accomplish in each one of those steps? That has to be on paper and clear, or it'll be impossible for you to duplicate and grow the business.
Hmm.